Are you fresh out of college or high school and you just started earning your own money? It's 2024 and cars are stupidly expensive. I'm 25 and I just bought my first car for less than 10k. It's in great shape and I've been driving it everywhere and I couldn't be any happier. And today I'm gonna show you exactly how to research, find, and actually buy your first car on a budget. I was debating myself whether I should join the cult and finance my car, which would potentially jeopardize my financial well-being, or make a smart choice by saving up a little cash and actually buy the car outright and avoid monthly car payments. If you have the same mindset, you've clicked on the right video. Buying your first car could be thrilling, and yeah, a bit overwhelming, but I've been through it, trust me, and I'm here to make it easier for you. Let's get started. First things first, we want to figure out what our budget is. The budget itself can vary, but I highly recommend not going below 5k because it's very hard to find a decent car for this kind of money. Personally, I think $10,000 is a good middle ground in terms of value for money proposition, and you can actually find a good and reliable car for this money. And my purchase is the proof. We need to figure out what matters the most to us. Is it practicality, reliability, safety features? And knowing your priorities will actually narrow down your search very quickly. You need to ask yourself these questions. Do I want and have time to work on my car? Or do I want it to be reliable and not worry about things breaking down? Do I need a car that can handle just city driving or long highway trips, or both? Will I need on a regular basis more seating space or more cargo space? What other car features that I enjoy but I can live without if necessary? Alright, the next crucial step is to figure out 3 to 5 options that satisfy your budget and priorities. So for the purpose of this video, let's say we decided that we want a car that costs $10,000 and it is reliable. And we can do that by going to Reddit, Google, or YouTube and search for something like reliable cars under 10k. And the good news is that I actually made this exact video that you can watch right here by following this link, or you can see it in the description below. So let's say on top of it being reliable, we want our first car to be safe, fuel efficient, and being able to seat up to 5 people. And let's assume after watching my video and reading some posts on Reddit and Google, we decided on 3 options: Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, and Volkswagen Jetta. Once we found a couple of options, now it's time to actually search. 2 websites in the US I recommend are Facebook Marketplace and AutoTempest. Facebook Marketplace is great, especially in our price range, since a lot of private owners are actually posting only on this platform, so you won't be able to find them on other websites. And AutoTempest is one of the best tools out there because we can actually browse all of the cars from all of the used cars websites. So let's jump straight into the Facebook Marketplace. And out of the 3 options I mentioned before, we decided to search first for Honda Civic. And from our research, we know that we should be looking at the year range from 2010 to 2013 to fit our budget of $10,000. So the easiest thing to do is to search for a 2013 Honda Civic. And the only 2 filters on the Facebook Marketplace you should be concerned about is the location filter. So let's say we are in LA and we set the radius to be 80 miles. And the second one is the price. So we want our price range to be close to $10,000, and let's give it a buffer of $2,000 below and above. So it results in $8,000 and $12,000. So from the first glance, I can see that the first ad is actually looking pretty good. $11,000 fits our budget because we can still haggle the price. And before even checking the photos of the ad, I recommend looking for the title and accident history. In this listing, we can see that it has a clean title and no accidents, which is great. 75,000 miles is pretty good for 2013, which is also nice. My other tip is to ask for a CarFax report, and this person mentions that we are welcome to request a CarFax report, and this is something we want to do to any car that we are interested in. It even gives us a little history of the car, and we can see that it was well maintained, it has been used just for commuting to and from college and work, it has some details on what is new on the car, and what needs some fixing soon. So the next thing to check is seller information. Make sure to check the Facebook profile of the person who is selling the car to make sure it looks legit. This one looks good. And after we confirmed these things, we can start looking into the photos of the ad. We just want to make sure that the exterior and the interior looks good. We actually got very lucky, and this example is really good to consider for us. And jumping straight back to AutoTempest, the most convenient thing is that we can check the prices from eBay, cars.com, TrueCar, and any other used car website. So let's again search for Honda Civic. And we're gonna enter a random postal code from California with a distance of 100 miles. The filters at AutoTempest are much better than Facebook Marketplace, so we can do the same filter for price. We can enter $8,000 and $12,000. The other good thing is we can enter the minimum and max year. And since we know we're looking at 2011 and 2013, let's put this in as well. And the other neat thing is we can use a max mileage here. And I recommend going for below 100,000 miles. And I also came up with a great keyword we can use, which is CarFax, that will allow us to filter the cars with the existing CarFax report. So the first listing we see looks like a potentially really good buy. We see that it's a 2012 Honda Civic that costs $10,500 and it's sitting right below 100,000 mile mark. So let's check it out. And since we have a filter keyword, which is CarFax, we can scroll down quickly and check the CarFax report right away. And while we're looking at the CarFax report, the first thing to check is the accident history, which you can see on the top where it says no accidents or damage reported to CarFax. We can also see the service reports for this car as well, where you see all of the services reported by date and what exactly has been done to the car. And there's also a very helpful section on the left top where you can double check the specs of the car from the listing and on this report. And we can also check the last mileage reported, which is very crucial as well. So as you can see, reading a CarFax report is fairly easy. After we have checked the CarFax report, the process is pretty much the same as Facebook Marketplace. We just check the photos, if they look good for us or not, and then we message the seller to arrange the time of viewing. And one last tip that I wanted to share with you is to set up alerts, both on AutoTempest and Facebook Marketplace. And this is done very easily. Here's how you can do it on AutoTempest, and this is how you do it on Facebook Marketplace. Awesome. Let's say we found a couple of cars we want to take a look at after using the tips I showed you during the search. But before actually committing our time and going to the seller in person, we want to make sure to ask as many questions as possible about the things that could be potential deal breakers for us. For example, you could see a cosmetic damage, or you are curious who was the previous owner, was he a smoker? And if everything looks and sounds good, we are ready to arrange the time and actually see the car in person and test drive it. The inspection of a used car is very important, but there is not enough time for us to go in depth on every single topic. But there's plenty of information and videos about this topic that you can find on YouTube or online, so you can check them out in your own time later, especially if you want to inspect the car on your own or you're just curious. But if you're not sure or you know little about cars, it's worth asking a friend, if they're a car person especially, or an independent mechanic who can go and inspect the car with you. But even if we're not sure, we can check the basics of checking the damage inside and outside the car. And we want to make sure to test everything like AC, windows, light switches, and so on. So for instance, make sure the window goes up and down completely. The AC can cool the car down and heat it up, and all the interior lights are functional. And the test drive, again, is a great place to ask questions and make sure there's no strange sounds coming from the car. And some of the basic stuff is to make sure that everything is running smoothly when you're accelerating, braking, or steering. I cannot emphasize this enough. Ask questions. This is one of the common mistakes that first car buyers make. Whether it's a dealership or a private owner, ask as many questions as you can. The more you know about the car, the better. These are potential good questions you can ask. How many people own this car before? And does it match with the CarFax report you have? Why this car is getting sold? Who was the previous owner? What are the known issues with this car? How this car was being used by previous owners? Was it someone's daily driver?
1 week later.
Was it driven predominantly in the city or on the highway? And by the way, if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. We are very close to 100 subscribers, and this is gonna mean a world to me. This greatly motivates me to create even more awesome videos for you guys. Thanks in advance. You can use all the answers from these questions and information you've gathered from your research, inspection, and test drive to negotiate the price of your car. One great tip that I have for you is to have a number in your head that you're willing to pay for the car even before you go to see it. And it is always better to have this number as out of the door price. If you didn't hear this term before, it basically means the full price of the car plus taxes and any dealer fees that you have to pay. And when you're negotiating with the seller, Please make sure to emphasize the fact that you are talking about the out-of-the-door price. When I purchased my car, I haggled the price to 10K from 12K during the negotiating process. But in order to pay less for the car, you have to have some kind of leverage. I used average market prices, the fact that I was not in a rush to get a car, and willingness to walk away from the deal if the price was not right for me. There are many other tactics that you can use to haggle the price for the car. And if you want to know more about these tactics and how I exactly haggled my price for the car, please let me know in the comments below and I'll make this video right away. Alright, let's assume the negotiation went smoothly. It's time to seal the deal. If it's a dealership, this process will be taken care of by the dealer. You'll just need to pay for the car and wait until they finalize all the documents to put you on the road. And please, don't bring the bag of cash with you. You have to pay with checks or credit cards. And if you're buying from a private owner, just bring someone with you who has experience in selling or purchasing cars privately before. This person can help you to make sure all the documents are signed correctly and the car transfer is done smoothly. If you follow all of these steps, I guarantee you, buying your first car will not be stressful. With a bit of research, smart searching, and careful buying, you can find an ideal car that fits your priorities and budget. My Volkswagen Jetta has been a great first car to me because I took the time to really follow these steps carefully because I knew that I wanted to spend the money I earned wisely. It's essential for young people early in their careers to make financial smart choices. Cars are usually the second biggest purchase we make in our lives, so that's why it's important to actually invest some time and effort when you're buying one. And this guide just makes it easier and more clear. I'm always reading comments below my videos, so please feel free to ask any questions about this guide. And if you're getting ready to buy a first car, please let me know what are your options. I'm very curious. There's so much more valuable car content coming on this channel. And don't forget to check out the full review of my first car and top 5 used first cars you can buy for $10,000. Thanks for watching.